One of the great stories today has been that Richard Tice, the leader of Reform UK, which used to be UKIP, apparently, or allegedly, offered Lee Anderson money to defect. Well, all he needs to do, I suppose, is offer him a job on TalkTV or GB News. Oh my goodness, he's already got a job there. So Tice, who of course is buddies with Nigel Farage, who at the moment is bearing his bottom on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, apparently said numerous discussions had taken place with Conservative MPs, former ministers, about joining Reform, but he said nobody had been offered payment. No cash or money has been offered in any way. At the moment, Reform UK is getting about 7% in the opinion polls and is expected to pick up maybe one seat if it's lucky. I very much doubt it will even get that. But like UKIP, it's likely to be influential during the next election, and in fact, I would dare to suggest it's influential at the moment. It's certainly propelling the Conservative Party as far to the right as possible to try and avoid leaking votes to Reform rather than keeping them itself. I think its hope of keeping its own votes. The Conservative Party is leaking votes in all directions. It's hemorrhaging. It's leaking votes to Reform, or it's leaking votes to the left. Very few votes are going to go to Labour, but people might just simply stay at home, or, like me, decide they have no party and look around to see where they can best deliver their vote. But the idea that Labour is going to pick up the votes lost from the Conservative Party, I think that's a pipe dream of Labour's, and the idea that that the far right, that Reform UK is going to pick up those votes, again, I think that's a pipe dream. I think the more likely scenario is people are just going to sit at home and regret the fact that they've got nothing to vote for, or go and spoil or soil. I think every so often I know there's a word for abandoning your vote, your vote, for indicating none of the above, and I every so often I think it is spoil, but sometimes what the word that comes out of the mouth is soil. I think soiling your vote, soiling your ballot paper sounds perfectly reasonable, and so there was a suggestion that Lagers with Lee had involved a lot of money to join a party that begins with an R. And is that possible? I think there's an argument to say that if you're looking for votes, you shouldn't be accepting lager. I think there's a principle that when you go vote questing, you don't even accept a cup of tea from a potential voter. So the idea of teasing a sitting MP with money to join another party, I think the very idea is rather shocking, but the idea of buying him a lager is fairly shocking. Anyway, I don't think there's very much that could shock me about Lee Anderson, except the quality of his language. And in that, I suppose he's not far removed from current members of the Conservative Party, like James Cleverly, whose language leaves a lot to be desired. But there we are. I suppose it's a small step from using foul language to going on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and bearing your behind to the viewing masses.